We'll call the January 2025 regular town council meeting to order. I'd like to welcome all our visitors here today. Thank y'all for coming. This time we'll have a prayer from Reverend Duck, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Reverend Duck.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let's pray. Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for your blessings. Thank you for this council, its families, its meeting time, and the accomplishments that they will make tonight. We pray that you shall guide them and direct them. Pray all things orchestrated and done will bring good to the community, good to the people, and be a blessing to Appomattox. We thank you for this occasion that we're going to have tonight with McKinley, and we know it's very meaningful to he and his family, and we pray you'll bless him as he carries on and does for this community that which will be in its best benefit. Now, God, direct, have your will and your way in Jesus' name. Amen. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Join with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Alrighty. Well, again, thank you all for coming out. We start on a new year. New council member, McKinley Cardwell. And hopefully a better and brighter future for the town. We have our soon-to-be town manager, Mr. Michael Campbell, here with us tonight. We're glad he could come out. We appreciate his willingness to come out early to see how we get things done. All right, at this time, I'll invite any citizen who has comment to come up and speak. All righty. Next item is the adoption of the consent agenda. All matters listed on the consent agenda are considered routine by the council and will be approved or received by one motion in the form listed. Items may be removed from the consent agenda for discussion under regular agenda upon motion of any council member and duly seconded. Items are the December 9th regular council meeting and the December 17th, 2024 special call council meeting. Any discussion?
I moved to modify the consent agenda, just have one action here. So at a previous meeting, we had voted, authorized some amount of money, forget the exact amount, $4,500 to digitize the Thomas Virginians. We actually found 18 reels beyond what we originally thought the Historical Society had. And that represents, we already sent the reels from 1913 to 1980. So we have all of that, which was pretty exciting. And these 18 represent basically 1890 to 1913 or so. But the total difference is $1,602. So just figured that's a small enough amount. You could add it to the consent agenda if there's no opposition.
I think that'll just have to come under either unfinished or new business because we're changing an amount. We're not going to, the consent agenda, the items we're looking at are the minutes of the meetings, that's it. We're not going to change the minutes to accommodate that.
Okay, wherever you want.
That's all right, not a problem.
In tonight's meeting, I just wanted to add it here. We can vote on it wherever.
Anyone else? Entertain a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. Motion made and properly seconded. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Ayes have it, the motion carries. Alrighty. Is there any other unfinished business to come before the council? This would be the appropriate place, Nathan.
So, as it just brought up, we have a amended quote, or this is actually a separate quote, in addition to the $4,500 that we authorized to digitize 18 reels at a total cost of $1,602. So I'll make that in the form of a motion. Just move that we approve the quote for digitization as presented.
I'll second
Motion made and properly seconded to add an additional $1,602 to the funding of the digitization of the Times Virginian as previously approved.
Is that, sorry, I just flipped over the back. Would you feel better about it if we made it, $1,800? I think there's some sort of shipping. Do we have another line?
No, we have free shipping boxes.
Oh, okay. Then $1,602.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
Is there a second?
Yes, Timmy seconded.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, excuse me a second, I gotta get my alphabet straight here. By roll call vote, Miss Allen,
Yes.
Mr. Boyce,
Yes.
Mr. Garrett,
it. Yes.
Mr. Cardwell,
Yes.
Ms. Spiegel,
Yes.
Mr. Simpson.
Yes.
By a vote of 6-0, motion carries. All right, next item of business is the appointment of the standing committees. I made the following decisions. Finance Committee, Mr. Jim Boyce, Ms. Mary Lou Spiegel, and Mr. Nathan Simpson. Mr. Boyce would like you to act as chairman of that committee. And for the Physical Development Committee, Mr. Timmy Garrett, Ms. Jane Allen, and Mr. McKinley Cardwell. Timmy, I'd like you to act as the chairman of that committee.
So tell me them, say them again.
Finance,
Finance is me, Jim, and
Nathan.
Nathan. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And then development is
And-
Timmy, Jane, and McKinley.
Are we operating under the assumption that we can fully dissolve the ARPA committee?
I would believe so. We've committed all the funds to that. I don't see any further need to be looking into how to split those finances. We're just going to make sure the town manager, make sure we get all of it spent properly and the treasurer. So I think there's no need for an additional term for the ARPA committee.
So that,
If we see it moving forward, we'll take it at that time.
okay.
Next item is consideration to elect a vice mayor for the membership. At this time, I'll entertain nominations from the floor.
I will nominate Timmy Garrett to be vice mayor.
I'll second that.
I was gonna nominate you. Seriously?
Are there any further nominations?
I'll nominate Mary Lou Spiegel. Excuse me, Mrs. Mary Lou Spiegel.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
My bad manners.
Ms.
Thank
Reese,
you.
as some people say.
Nathan, appreciate the second. It's not required for a nomination. Any others?
Oh, is a nomination doesn't require a second?
Nope. Close nominations
Well, I
does.
was planning on giving a speech.
That's
for
all right.
Timmy, so you got all busy.
It's quite all right. Are there any other nominations from the floor, from the council? Now I'll entertain a motion for nominations to be closed.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor of closing nominations signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. This time by roll call vote. As I ask each of you, as I mention your name, please indicate the candidate that you wish to have as vice mayor. Ms. Allen,
Timmy.
Mr. Boyce,
Ms. Spiegel.
Mr. Cardwell,
Councilman Garrett.
Mr. Garrett,
Right, Nathan.
Mr. Simpson.
Timmy.
Ms. Spiegel.
Timmy Garrett.
Tried.
Thank you. The person has to be willing to do it before they do it.
I vote of the council, Mr. Garrett will be our vice mayor for the next
Thank you.
2 years.
I guess the meeting schedule's on here somewhere.
Thank you all.
Mr. Mayor, point of order. Is that 2 years or 1 year?
2 years. We go from
But
election
don't
to
you have a
election.
reorganization every year?
We haven't in the past that,
What was our recently adopted
He can hold term for 2 years,
2 years? Okay.
Okay.
unless someone
Here it is.
I mean, we could always
decides
remove them.
otherwise.
next item of business is the adoption of the meeting schedule. I think it would be in your packet.
Page 11.
Thank you, Mary Lou. The one thing that is absent are the finance meetings, and they'll start, I believe, in February or March. And carry on until we get an adopted budget.
Could we set a note for our June regular meeting to schedule our retreat for October? That's what we did in years past. So we'll pick a date in June for sometime in October. If that's
You want
okay.
to do one in the spring.
We may, yeah, because of the FOIA and COIA training, we may have to do it ahead of time. I don't know.
I think we,
McKinley and I are up to date. We went to the new elected officials training, so.
we probably don't want to waste a training. I mean, doing that, we can do that on our own. I mean,
True.
there's a lot of value in us getting together, I think.
Sure.
Because there's some pretty great resources that VML has that we could do asynchronously. But we might need two, because we have a new town manager. He might have ideas in the spring, and then probably good for us to review on the year, in October.
All right.
So our goal is the retreat to be in October.
That's just, yeah, that's when I remember it being.
Yeah, yes.
I think what Nathan's saying, we probably need to have an hour to get orientated with new town manager.
Yeah.
Make sure we're all
We could go
communicating
sooner.
properly.
We can go sooner. I mean, we
Well-
could have two, and we could go sooner, and then we could still have the one in October if we deem it necessary.
Because ours in 2024 was a weekend in May. I think it was a Saturday. I think that worked pretty well.
In the past, we've been having it at the hotel because they have high-speed internet there and very convenient. So that's where we've been normally having our retreat.
We've
And
had
that's
it.
fine with me, or not.
We shall see.
I make a motion to adopt the schedule.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Motion made and properly seconded to approve the meeting schedule as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Ayes have it, the motion carries. Mr. Garrett, you may have to do the September Town Council meeting for me.
You're going on vacation or
That
something?
is my anniversary, ma'am.
Okay. You want to tell us how many years? Can you remember? You did.
Yes, ma'am, I can remember exactly.
Look,
It'll
I
be
can remember,
30
I think.
years. It's 30 years.
30 years. Wowzy.
9895.
That's cool. It's a blessing.
Somebody may correct me if I'm wrong. Usually we have two members of the town council on the EDA. The last two was Ms. Spiegel and Ms. Puckett.
That's
Ms. Spiegel,
correct.
Yes.
I would like, are you open for
I
a
am
nomination or?
Yes, I would like to, at this time, open the floor up for nominations.
I would like
for
to
EDA.
nominate Councilman Garrett. I have previously spoken to him, which is the way it's supposed to be, to make sure that he's agreeable with that. And I think with his financial and knowledge of everything in town and his length of service, I think that he would make a great addition to the Economic Development Authority, which meets normally about once a month, which we're meeting tomorrow. But we don't meet unless we have business to discuss. So sometimes we don't, and that's the same with the Planning Commission. So I nominate Jimmy Garrett. To be the second councilman on.
Do you need a second?
I need another nomination.
You need another nomination?
Yes, we're going to have to put 2 on there.
Why?
Because we
Ms.
usually have to.
Spiegel's
Ms.
term
Spiegel
has not
wants.
expired.
My term is not expired.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not expired.
Thank you. Sorry for that. That's my
Not expired.
misunderstanding.
So
She's still here.
That was last year, I
Don't
think I
expire
was.
on us.
Thank you.
when's the proper point to discuss this?
Are there any other nominations from the floor?
Okay.
All right.
I guess now.
Entertain a motion for nominations to be closed.
I move that we close nominations.
Is there a second? Is there a second?
I'll second it.
We're
Nominations have been closed.
asleep at the wheel today.
That's okay. I am probably a little bit myself. It's been a long week. It's only Monday. At this time, we hear the nominations closed with 1 candidate. All in favor of Mr. Garrett being their next representative?
If I could.
Yes, please
one
do,
point
sir.
on this. So, I'm all in favor of Mr. Garrett holding the seat, assuming it's something you want to do. I did a great deal of research, and have, I guess, over the past couple of years into EDAs, and different localities they use their EDAs in different ways. And the county and the town, each have their own EDA. The county cannot, by law, have a member of the Board of Supervisors on their EDA. Any locality over, I think, 3,500 people, there has to be a very fine line. And I guess it's, they say you have enough in population to pull from, you should be able to find other people to serve. I went back and read the minutes. We've always had, it seems, 2 council members on our EDA. I get it.
I believe, Nathan, that just to refresh your memory, or if you aren't aware of it, we did not have an EDA for the town, and it was very difficult for us to get things done. So under the management of Bill Gillespie, who worked for years for the city of Lynchburg, he said we need to develop our own, and he wrote the rules for the EDA and Planning Commission, and he said that we need 2 council members on there and up to so many citizen volunteers.
Right. So, and my only point,
Yeah.
I'm not here to, discredit anything he did. I think he did a lot of great stuff for us and is generally well informed about what should be done. I guess I just want to point out that we're not required
Oh, no.
by law.
By law,
To have
but-
2 council members. You
Right.
could choose to have 1 or none, and we're in a unique spot just because we have less than 3,500 residents. So if at any time we ever wanted to shift away, there are some benefits to not having council members on the EDA. Do they outweigh the pros and the cons? I don't know, but there's just some stuff with bond issuance and then keeping that fine line between the electeds and the EDA members, because an EDA can do things that a council can't. So that's just something to keep in mind. But I'm supportive of Mr. Garrett filling the seat.
So just a point of information, this is directed to Cindy and to Fowler and anybody else who may know the policy. Is there a direct policy for this that we have to follow, or is this just kind of determined?
Cindy?
They have a section in the code under section 2415 talking about the EDA authority and what the council has decided in the past.
Okay, so we don't have a set policy on it.
Well, I think what the
It's kind of
council
up to-
decides,
Council.
what the council decides is what is the policy.
Okay, yeah.
So as Nathan suggested, if at any time we wanted to tweak it, that would be okay.
The only
But we'd have to have a
complexity-
majority of council to approve the tweaking.
Right, and it may take it might be something that would take a code change. I mean, the only complexity
it
would
would
be,
take
we have certain economic development prospects where they have to move very quickly, and they send over an NDA, and there's question about who all is covered under the NDA, whereas other organizations, it's quite clear, because it's literally just members or directors of the authority. But in our case, you have 7 plus, you have at least probably 15 people that are subject to any NDA that our EDA signs.
We can move pretty fast, we've proven that.
Yeah, I don't think it's gotten in our way so far, it's just something to think about.
Yeah, we've gotten quite a few really great projects done. And I was not on the EDA when I first took my seat, and we had a death of a councilman. And so I expressed my interest in fulfilling his term, and that was approved by council. And then when that term expired, that I was serving that unexpired term, then I was appointed again by council. That's the way it works. So. Because I think I can't remember which council member was serving when we had a vacancy of a council member, and then Claudia
Was it Lewis?
came on.
I
It
think
might have been,
Lewis
yeah,
was
that's right,
serving.
because Lewis and Jimmy Mayberry were both on it for a long, long time. That's right, Lewis. It's
Any
kind of
other
this
discussion?
Little history of it.
This time, all in favor of Mr. Garrett serving as our additional member on the Town of Appomattox Economic Development Authority, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Ayes have it, the motion carries. Next item, consideration to reappoint Mr. James Boyce, Sr. to the Planning Commission. Mr. Boyce, do you have any comments?
Well, would have been nice to have been asked first.
Do you want to do it?
I've been on there for 2 years.
That
Right.
would have been Christie that told me at the last minute under anesthesia.
Well, that's the reason I
But-
spoke to
but
Timmy,
it's-
yeah.
But it's good, yeah.
I spoke to Timmy and asked him first before I nominated
this-
him, and somebody should have done that with you, but oh well.
This was not my item on the agenda.
But he's
so-
already on it.
But if you're
You have
willing
to,
to
you have
serve,
to agree
it's
to
just-
serve
You've been
before
voluntold.
they stick you on the committee. You have to express
yes.
a desire, yes, I would like to serve. That's why I checked with Mr. Garrett first. And
Alright.
they left you out. But are you willing to serve?
I am.
Thank you.
I move to force reappointment to Mr. Boyce.
Wow, forced reappointment. I like that. It's good verbiage, yeah.
No second to that. This time, all in favor of reappointing Mr. James Boyce Sr. To the Planning Commission, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Ayes have it, the motion carries.
And I'd just like to say to our audience, since we have an audience here, that EDA members do not receive any money for serving. We're volunteers. And it would create a conflict of interest, is the reason why. But the Planning Commission does receive a small stipend for every meeting that they have,
Oh, the rules on
just for
bylaw.
FYI.
Oh. Did we change it?
Next item is our consideration to reapprove the bylaws and rules of procedure for the operation of the town council.
To reapprove.
Yes,
All right,
ma'am.
let's look at it.
And they haven't been changed?
I haven't touched it.
No, ma'am.
So, yes, in your orientation book, everything we're going over under new business is in that book.
And when did we approve it?
We approved that back when we did the ethics.
Ethics, so that's been, what, 2 months ago? Something like
Yes, ma'am.
that.
This fall.
Last fall, yeah. And we came up with, well, we didn't come up with, but
We made
we,
a few changes.
We could have, we
after
formalized.
after our
said-
meeting, our retreat, we tweaked it
Yeah, we already tweaked this one.
and we all, I think we all signed it.
We would like to include McKinley in on the,
Yes,
Okay, so just a point of information, the part where it says consideration to approve bylaws and rules and procedures, that's not in the packet, but this is just
It's in,
in the book, yeah.
yes, sir.
in that book, yeah.
Cool.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Motion made, properly second. Any further discussion?
No.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Ayes have it, the motion carries.
Both of them. Okay.
Consideration to approve Code of Ethics and Conduct. This is a document that's in the package. This is a reapproval and reaffirmation of it for newly elected council members.
So this is I guess a read between the lines, but I'm breezing through it, and it kind of, it would fit somewhere in our rules and procedure, but I guess just a consensus that our local emergency management officials, when they come to present to us, they don't have to stick to the 3 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's important to me.
Yes,
That's very appropriate and very true. These are formal presentations requested by the council of said members.
Well, they take
Which
longer
they
than 3 minutes.
willingly
as long as it's,
provide us with a great deal of information that could not be constrained by a time limit of 3 minutes.
and we need to hear all of it
Yes,
to
we
make our
do.
decision. Decisions.
All right. Consideration to approve Code of Ethics and Conduct.
I move to approve.
A second.
Motion made and probably seconded. Any discussion? Basically, this is next to the last page in your packet. When our meeting is over, I'd ask that each of you sign it if you approve it. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. All right. Consideration to approve the ethics pledge. It's the final page of the document in your package. Have each one of you sign one of those as appropriate.
I think it's the second to the last page, at least on mine.
It is.
Oh, sorry. My pages must have stuck together. It's
The
an
last page
individual
alone.
item. It's the individual page. It's the
And
last
it-
page
Yeah,
of
it
my
says on there the
package.
date, it was October 29th. Like 2.5 months ago.
Entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Motion made, properly seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Ayes have it, the motion is carried. Final item on the agenda, consideration of FY25 write-off request due to the statute of limitations for collection, unpaid 2019 personal property taxes of $3,538.61, of which $2,278.45 is principal and $1,260.16 is penalties and interest. And unpaid 2021 utilities of $2,625.87, $2,606.21 for water and sewer charges, and $19.66 in penalties.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made, properly
I see
seconded.
that look on your face, and I agree.
Any further
Need
discussion?
to look.
Yes, so there was a time, probably before I was born, back when the world made sense,
It never makes sense.
where, there would be at least some sort of shame in this, and it would be publicized. And while $6,000, whatever it is, doesn't add up a whole lot in relation to our budget. It adds up to a whole lot in individuals' budgets. And there were people who did pay their taxes on time that I'm sure chose probably not to eat for a certain number of meals or whatever, or to cut back on something. And this is something that I said about the meals tax. Business owners who fail to remit their meals tax, it's criminal. People go to jail over that in other localities. And we've written off several thousand, tens of thousands of dollars, I believe, in meals tax. And for us to do it again with personal property, even though it's uncollectible, or beyond statute date on it, I'm uncomfortable with it. I think it's wrong. And I'd like to see an actual list out of the balances and who owes it. And if it's someone that is collectible, and there's any avenue to collect it, it's our role, regardless of if it costs the locality more than what we recover, to collect it. We're not a business.
The statute of limitations will not let you collect it.
Right.
Period.
If the statute date has gone, and then I want to understand why we let something get to the statute date.
Well,
A lot of times it's because they have to use DMV to enforce it. And if you put a block on me, the first thing I'm gonna do is put a car in my wife's name. And you will never see my name on another vehicle. That's the reality of what we live in.
Right.
And then the debt just stays.
Absolutely.
And that's where being public about this and trying to restore some sense of a high trust society is, I think that's important. And we have had situations where I know for a fact we have written off debts from people and businesses who remain collectible. And I'm just uncomfortable with that.
yeah, well, we've had this discussion, and you know that, as long as you've been here, year after year, when it comes to that. And according to the treasurer, Ms. Ray, who does an excellent job now, since she's been in office, of collecting these debts. And sometimes they just drop out of sight, the people, and she can't even locate them to send something to them. And as she said, her hands are tied. She can't, you just said you wanted to know why, and I don't think that we have a great deal of it going on as we once previously did. I'm just speaking, saying some of the things
I can
that,
give a little more information.
good.
Ms. Kim did say that 95% of the bad debt had been collected,
That-
and of the 5%, most of them are expired.
The debt is expired or the people?
The
The
people.
Oh, goodness.
Well, if the
5% of them?
Yeah, to me, an estate would have to
Yeah.
pay a
If
bill.
the
but-
estate's collectible, but if
Right.
the estate's not collectible, then yeah, we can discharge it. But
And how many
that's-
people makes up this total amount, I guess is my thinking. Is this, I mean, how many people would take to accrue this much?
You're probably looking at 2% according to Ms. Ray.
So, I mean,
So,
I'm not making excuses, I'm just saying this is.
I wonder, is it getting worse every year?
I think it's a trend that's improving.
I don't think it's getting worse every year, Jane, it's getting better, especially,
Yeah, I mean, I guess
because
as long as
we
it
used to-
moves in a good
I
direction.
can tell you that we used to have 2 pages of people's names, 2 pages full of,
Okay.
and it was, but it's greatly improved now,
That's
but,
good.
and it's,
Staff does a really good job reaching out.
it really,
letting it
really
get
People
done,
do.
to pay.
Both Kim and Christie.
And they work with people, I imagine.
We do.
Yeah.
But
it's-
we can't let it slip. So every time we
But-
do this, it's,
maybe to
It's not
Mr.
right.
Simpson's suggestion, maybe next year before we have a write-off, let's put some names in the paper.
unless they're dead.
Well,
And then it could be the estate of, I mean, some people do die with nothing, but then
Yeah,
Some do.
someone's responsible. I mean, in
Yeah,
a sense,
I mean, because nobody wants to see their name in print for unhealthy reason.
yep.
and if they're frequent
agree.
flyers, then maybe we can get ahead of it. But if it's not that, I mean, it could just be random. It's getting to be less, so that's good.
if they have a bad debt, we won't, I don't think we allow them to have a water hookup or sewer or anything. I mean, we go back, we vet them when they, apply for this. But, as Jim says, they'll just go elsewhere and,
Like I say, for the
Been
personal
happening.
property, more than likely it's vehicles.
Yeah.
And as Jim said, there's a workaround, there's always a loophole, but also
you taught me a new one.
there are
right, Nathan?
And there's,
Punitive damages or
Ms. Ray
these
taught me.
punitive actions are taken against them to prevent them from doing certain things.
what I would love to see us do,
Attempt to
and this
enforce
is, you know, something I don't
It's
want
frustrating.
blindside Miss Ray with when she isn't here, but something we could look at is there are firms, so let's say we hold the debt for 12 months delinquent, and then we can sell it. It's pennies on the dollar, but it's a way for us to get it off of our balance sheet, and without just discharging it, you get something for it, and it could be collected if, that's more like the scenario where they move to Texas, and it's still connected to them.
And I think we've discussed that with Ms. Ray. I'm not disputing what you're saying. I really am not. I feel the very same way you do. And Ms. Ray's answer to that is it would cost the town much more to engage in these companies than we would ever get in a return, if we even got a return. It would cost way much more. So that's why year
I
after
mean,
year.
there's somebody that would buy the debt for a tenth of a penny
Yeah,
on
they
the
do
dollar.
the credit
It's-
card debt like that too, but that's a different story than local government.
All right.
It's frustrating.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Ayes have it, motion carries. Mr. Fowler.
Just like to give a shout out again to the public works staff and everybody who's worked through the recent weather events. I know we've had a couple of little glitches, but we do have a lot of new people, and we will work with that to try to address some of the concerns that have been alerted to us this time. Other than that, I don't really have anything major. Next session, we will have a gentleman from the state to come visit and give a presentation on the property maintenance code and what would involve to get that started, as well as a representative from the animal warden about leash laws and creating a leash law in town. Other than that, everything's going pretty good, I think. Thank Michael for coming tonight as well.
Well, I would just like to add to that I did receive a couple of complaints, and I took them immediately with the snow removal to you, even though it was on the weekend. And you immediately took it to Public Works, and that very night, the situation was corrected that night, and to the delight of the business owner on Main Street. So yes, they're on it. They're on the ball, and I applaud them too.
Was there an issue with snow?
We had a
Yeah,
pile of snow on Main Street that needed to be
it's a Main Street,
removed completely so that we didn't infringe on parking spaces.
but it was
More
corrected
access.
as soon as I
Was
pointed
taken
it
care
out.
of.
Was it a snow plow plowed up snow, or was
Yeah.
it into a parking spot?
Well,
I don't know the exact
Kind
situation.
of the corner of the
but
sidewalk.
It was accumulation.
And the
that
sun
had to
doesn't
be-
shine,
Yeah.
and it stays frozen.
Because basically, I
so-
think staff was working and then go back and remove a pile. But it was addressed.
there was a big pile in a certain area, and more than one, but this one certain area where I received the complaint, and with the snow plow, it was an inappropriate place to dump the snow was back on the corner of the street, because that was creating another big safety issue. And as soon as I made them, I've made Mr. Fowler aware of it, he called Tori, and it was corrected that night. We didn't expect that, but to their credit, they went out and did that. So that's why I'm giving them some credit. Maybe they weren't aware of, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they weren't aware of it or whatever. But I know it was corrected, and my hope is that's not going to happen again, which I expressed.
While we're on the subject of snow removal, who's responsible for the sidewalks?
The business owners.
The property owner in front of it.
The business owners. And that was part of the complaint, because
Unless we want to give like the FFA $4,500 a year.
I think the business owner's been handling it very well, but it was dumped onto her sidewalk. And so that would made it really hard for her to get it.
So then the other
the
sidewalks in
sidewalks
town
all
in front of the
around.
houses, that's the property owner.
Well, they're supposed to, yes. If you have sidewalk,
And then you have like the one in front of the school board, that's just,
County.
the county Because like at the
Either
old
the
elementary
town or the
school, the
county.
county does that. We have steps going up to the Carver Price Legacy Museum, and the county workers do that cleaning of, because it's their building.
But it's all kind of in who's able. Like when I was 19 and hungry to use energy, I
You walk around
cleared
the
from
shovel.
the top
Yeah.
of Watkins Building to the
You
library.
want-
fun.
Yeah.
And you know,
We were
maybe
bored.
that's something as a PSA ought to be put into the newspaper once a year, so that people know if there's an issue here, this is who we need to speak to.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't think we need to be plowing the streets and piling piles up on the corner. Of course, I don't think they ought to plow a Cawthorn Street loading my driveway up either, but that's neither here nor there.
To backtrack, so we'll have we'll have someone come talk to us about the building code, and then we can know what we can do.
He'll explain the process, and
Okay.
then we'll move forward.
To
from there.
correct the deficiencies.
We'll create an ordinance, and
We
we'll
have-
take staff-wise.
We have a draft though from
Correct.
Frank.
Yep.
So
So we'd need both of those, and then make a move, and then alert the people.
That would probably require a public hearing.
Because you've asked, we've mentioned it to these business owners, right, or these residents, that they know that they've got blight, and they've done some have done some, like fixed a window, but,
I think certain times they've been reached out to. As a general, I don't think we've done a widespread,
okay.
especially in residential districts. I don't think the town ever has.
Well, we can start something and keep it permanent.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right, so question on the pipeline. What exactly was like the main cause and everything? Was that kind of like, I mean, I kind of wrote down a couple of things. Was it like construction, weather, maintenance, aging? What type of things?
On the pipe break,
Yeah.
it's more than just probably age.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
And just as a side note, McKinley, my son John works for Building
the
and
Patterson
Ground Maintenance, and I mentioned it to him that we had that pipe, and he said, this is for Lynchburg City. And he said, Mama, this is the time of year when you have old pipes and the temperature gets down to 16, you're going to have spotted all over Lynchburg like that. It's just happened.
It's just infrastructure issues.
Yeah. It's not, it's kind of hard to,
City of
con-
Richmond
to
found out
stop
the
it.
hard way too.
yeah.
I'm not sure if that's the exact cause of their,
Richmond,
Problems,
yeah,
but
that's a different kettle
they
of
shut down
fish.
the state legislature. Anyways,
But yeah, it happens, it's unfortunate, and you don't realize it until it happens. Then you run, go fix it.
And apparently, we had a couple, maybe one mailbox fatality, but we'll follow up on that tomorrow and see if we can get that fixed.
That's good to have one.
Yeah, it's the only one I've been made aware of, but, yeah, it happens.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
all right. Anything else, Mr. Fowler?
I don't believe so, no, sir.
Mr. Campbell, I'm going to entertain if you got any questions or comments at this time.
No, sir.
Thank you. Don't get used to that.
We are
right.
so looking forward to you coming on board. So we can start calling you and saying, Mr. Fowler on Sunday afternoon.
No problem.
One occasion,
Mary Lou will call you and text you if you don't answer.
All
with
right.
pictures.
At this time, it's normally council standing committee reports as these committees have just been formed. If the chairs have anything they'd like to comment upon?
I do have an update for the depot. We're probably about 75% done on the painting of the
Wow.
other half of the depot.
That's great.
We just got the power back on half of it, so
That's good.
hopefully by the middle of the week to the end of the week, they'll be done painting. I don't have anything else, Richard.
Thank you. Mr. Boyce?
Back to the ARPA committee. Does there have to be a formal disbandment of that, or?
I do not know.
I wouldn't think
like
so
to
because
reabsorb it to the
because
council.
we created that ARPA committee.
It'd be an ad hoc committee, so we
Yeah.
just dissolve, I move that we dissolve the ad hoc committee for ARPA.
Yeah. Second, if it needs one.
Motion made, properly seconded to disband the ad hoc ARPA committee. Any discussion?
And sorry, and vest the chair's authority with the mayor. I mean, just to where you can sign as if you were, I think you can do that anyway, but just,
Sign off on it
clear
or
it.
sign it, whatever you call it.
Yeah,
What's the
because the
appropriate
chair
way?
is no longer amongst us.
right.
You're right.
Go back to the original.
Yeah, we're back to physical development finance,
Yep.
as appropriate.
Yeah, that's gonna go to the,
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. The committee is disbanded at this time.
and then anything further, I guess we'd go to the Finance Committee, which I am now on, under Mr. Boyce's chairmanship and Nathan. Because I was on the Physical Development Committee for a while.
All right.
That's okay.
Meet early, meet often, or just as much as you need to get done. Thank
But
you
don't
all.
eat in council when we've
Do
got
not.
the recording going on, right, Cindy?
Correct.
Time is it?
All right. This time, council comment. Ms. Allen.
I'm excited to hear about that building and anxious about the leash law, so I'm excited. Thank you for those
Yes.
updates. I thought that the snow was absolutely beautiful. I didn't get to walk in it this time, but it was beautiful out town. And I'm excited for the ARPA money we've spent and the plans that are happening this year. Some things I've been waiting on, and I'm excited, so. It's going to be a new year. It's going to be a lot of fun projects.
Mr. Boyce.
New year, new issues, new resolve to get them fixed, get things done. Looking forward to it.
Mr. Cardwell.
I think number one, I just want to thank the community for entrusting me with this opportunity. I do have this VML report type thing that I'll send to you all in email, as well as a kind of an update on like things that are going on in the General Assembly that I found very interesting that would really push our people kind of over the edge. So something that we need to be talking with our senator and our representative about in the General Assembly. I am absolutely just happy to be on here and everything, especially be working as one council, because, you know, at the end of the day, we're all gonna have to vote on everything, or we're gonna say no to everything, and so it's just very exciting. Most importantly, when you start, Mr. Campbell, I will be right behind you, wind and sails, because I've seen a lot of organizations where if things aren't together, you know, things go really bad. And I've been a part of different organizations like that. So I'm going to make sure that I have your back, and you know, we actually do what's best for all the staff here, and I'm just so excited about that. And finally, this is just a thank you to everyone just being a neighbor. I would like to commend the Public Works Department. Lisa was able to get into to be able to get into the depot on a Saturday, and she said that those guys came and swept off everything. I know that she's been going with that walker, but they've done an absolutely fabulous job. So just want to thank you so much, and thank everybody for just doing fabulous.
Mr. Garrett.
I don't like that.
Mr. Simpson.
A couple of things. So I had a resident request the blueprints for Lee Grant. Are those available?
Yeah, they should be out on the web and the Facebook, but I also have a copy here and they can
Okay.
review.
I think they're looking for one specific detail.
In front of their house.
Yes, so it would be, that particular resident wanted to come look at them in person, so
They're here.
great. Regarding the issue with the water line, I just ask that the council is at least alerted in the next day, following a boil water advisory. I found out about it on Facebook, which isn't necessarily the best spot.
How else, I mean, I'm just asking, how else would you like to have them, so he'll know
Just by
besides?
email or,
Email or text.
Oh, individual email, I got you,
yeah,
yeah.
just a
Yeah,
group email. I mean,
gotcha.
it's a,
Because
it's
if
not
you
a small
don't,
deal. It's,
yeah, And
get
you
residents
don't
drinking some more bottles.
necessarily, we don't necessarily, maybe somebody does, look at the town Facebook page every day, because we're all busy with things doing. And yeah, that's, because I didn't see it till my son Paul pointed it out to me. I said, "What are you talking about?" And he sent me the Facebook page. I went,
It was
"Oh."
good, it drew your attention, it wasn't just words,
And
it
it
had
said
some blue with it.
boiled water
Right.
advisory
That was-
underneath.
that was,
And that's when I
good.
went and I shared it, but it was a day late, so that's a good idea. Email us. It's one more thing for you to do, Cindy.
One thing for us to think about, right now, we have an org chart in the binder, which I don't know if we've ever done a formal adoption of that. We have a org chart, I believe, that's either has been drafted or is being drafted by our HR consultant. Is that right, Rob?
Correct.
One of the outstanding things, I think, is that we moved the clerk position to be a deputy clerk. So our town manager is now vested with the authority of the clerk, the actual legal position. And there's a second position in the town code that is kind of similar and that has actual transactional authority, and that's the treasurer. Right now, at least the org chart in this book, has the treasurer listed under the town manager, and as in the authority flowing from the council to the town manager to the treasurer. And I don't think that's accurate relative to how Miss Ray is. I'm assuming she has an employment contract or she has some sort of bonding associated with her name. If we are going to have the town manager serve as the transactional, really it's a risk body for treasurer, clerk, and the role of the town manager, then we should take that liability off of Miss Ray and make her, just entitle, it'd be the same job description, but just entitle it's, deputy clerk, deputy treasurer. I know there was some question about that. And I think it would give her some relief to know, and not trying to speak for her, but I do think it would give her some relief to know whether she has to answer the phone. If we call her, she'll be cordial, but everybody needs to know and wants to know who their boss is. And if she has 7 or if she has 1, we just need to let her know, I think, and we haven't made that particularly clear.
I've got the organizational chart from 2019.
That's the one I'm referencing. It has her under the town manager,
Are
but
you looking at the one from 2024?
It's whichever one I
I
saw
put both
here.
in mine because I know this is a hot topic. So, I guess, Michael, the town clerk that worked here was here for 30 years. And she supervised a lot, and she did a lot. So, even then, the town treasurer was under the town manager.
Right, but I don't think that aligns with our code and our employment contracts.
Okay.
I think that's the issue. So
So we need to look at it, or,
Will the HR people do that?
They
Ken,
talk
I'm not aware that she had a contract.
I don't know.
It's my understanding she's not, she was hired and processed. There's been some confusion about that.
Right.
As far as bonding, all employees are bonded through Versa. The state code more or less was raised an issue before
Sure.
that pertains to constitutional officers. However, the town charter specifically states that the treasurer be bonded, and after talking with legal counsel, we did not feel that we needed to supply any additional bond amount. I think it's 300,000 coverage for everybody, all employees. But I can verify that whether there's a contract. It's my understanding there's not a contract for that position.
I would appreciate, as long as you guys are okay paying Frank to do this, because it is kind of minutia, but just getting a written legal opinion on that, because it is, there's just a question to it.
I'll look, but I
in
think
my
we
mind.
have some.
Okay, yeah, if one exists, that's
Just-
great.
Yeah.
just look into it and assure him or,
Because that was raised previously
Okay,
before.
and then
Yeah.
we would need to So then is she treasurer by code, or is she deputy treasurer and the town manager's treasurer?
She's the treasurer.
She is the treasurer, and as we go forward, and Michael comes on board with the compies, job description, and the whole HR plan, sometimes it's referred to as a finance director, sometimes it's a treasurer. It's really how you want to title it.
Sure.
But we can review that, find out, and get an
Because
answer
we've
from
always
council.
given
I think it's always
the
been
title
referenced
of
as a
treasurer.
But
Yeah.
it's really
or-
probably more of just a finance director or
yeah.
position.
I don't want to speak out of turn, I just.
Please do, please.
I think, given the way that the town operates, obviously, she's not an elected constitutional officer, correct?
No.
She's not, right? So she's treasurer, she's the finance director, which obviously would make her an employee. So, and I think that's.
Yeah, I think that's just the way it's been as far as titles go, but we can verify.
I get it splitting hairs. I just think,
Yeah.
through some conversations, I think it'd be something, one of those ambiguities we can just clear up with a one-pager and everybody can rest easy about it.
Yeah.
I think, so the last thing, we are now in, 2025, 2030 is our ticking timeline for utilities. We're no closer than we were when I started on council in 2020. I don't think to the faults of this council at all. But it is something that, regardless of anybody coming to rescue us, we gotta move in the right direction, and I think we're putting some work and money into that, and we just can't lose sight of it. We gotta move towards securing water wherever that comes from. And that is all.
Can we get an update on all that too, Rob, at the work session?
Yeah, we should be able to provide where we are. I'm hoping that we can soon get a breakdown of what money has been spent from ARPA and what contracts we've initiated to get the wells inspected and running.
Just
Yeah,
where we at? I'd
that
like to update
Be
on that.
great.
And it would, I think it'd be good to get, to start looping in legal counsel, whether it's Overby, Hawkins and Wright or Specialized Water Council, because I don't know if y'all saw the Campbell County decision,
Yes.
the landfill expansion is not going to happen.
So we'll be disbanded once that landfill is full.
And the way I see it is the Otter River has a withdrawal permit of 3.5, 4 million gallons a day, and they'd rather sell it to Timberlake than to us. So,
Yep.
big issues for us to deal with, and we'll figure it out.
Ms. Spiegel.
I would like to welcome our newest councilman, McKinley Cardwell, to our group. And I would like to point out, according to a relative of his, that his birthday is tomorrow. So I want to wish McKinley, and I know the age, but I'll let him say it if you want to. Happy
28.
birthday.
Thank you.
28, wait, what? Okay. You said that,
97.
not, you said that, not me. And so that's all I had.
Thank you, Ms. Spiegel. Does anyone know any other business come before the Almax Town Council at this time?
Oh, I do.
Yes,
We're
ma'am,
just
Ms.
talking
Nolan.
about birthdays. Rob's birthday's Friday.
Oh, happy birthday. Are you saying how old you are? Are you
28
making it 25
Sure.
again?
I'll be 57.
Nice.
If I had my guitar, I'd let Nathan sing to you.
Thank goodness you don't. No, I don't know. Nathan might be a good singer.
You've already seen Spanish before on the high school.
All right.
I'd have to show you this one.
Oh, Lord.
I'll make a motion with adjourn.
Motion made, properly seconded, adjournment of the town council meeting. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Ayes have it,
Thank you
motion
for
carries.
coming.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you
We
for
thank you all
coming,
for coming
everybody.
out.